Hello, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Football Heritage Podcast. I know it's been a long time, but we are back, and we are back with a bang.
Yeah, we're aiming to upload a lot more regularly now and film regular content. It won't just be with us two, but the whole team as well.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get straight into it. We've just witnessed the AFCON final. Ivory Coast have won, so congratulations to Cote d'Ivoire. Commiserations to Nigeria. I'm not gonna get too much into the Nigeria slander. As you guys know, I'm Ghanaian and Sierra Leonean, so there's a little bit of a rivalry between us. But while the Nigerians they're not here to defend themselves, so I'm not gonna really get too much into the slander. But in terms of the game itself, we'll just talk about the final quickly. What did you think of the game, sir?
Yeah, I thought it was a very kind of to and fro game. I think based on what we saw, it was kind of very stop-start. Obviously, conditions played a big part in it as well. I thought that in terms of the press, it was very lackluster from both sides. I think Ivory Coast had the better go at it. I think particularly in the first half, there was a lot of domination from that side, and based on like how frantic the Nigerian players were getting, like Osimhen, there was a few shady decisions I thought in the final, and particularly over the duration of the tournament, the refereeing's been pretty good, I think. But yeah, Kessie came through, good goal. Akong obviously played of the tournament, but you know he couldn't really rejuvenate his team for a comeback. And then Haller, what a story, coming back from a pretty poor time at West Ham, and then recovering from cancer to finish off quite tidily as well from Adingra. Adingra cooked and was it Olaena?
Yeah.
Had his number for the whole game, and then it was a tidy finish. And yeah, I think Ivory Coast, considering where they came from at the beginning of the tournament, where they got slapped 4-0, were third in their group. It looked like from a tactical perspective, a coaching perspective, they'd all lost their way, and they've come back through to from the semi-finals, and yeah, I think it was a well-deserved win, even if it wasn't the greatest quality of games.
Yeah, in terms of that final, I think it was a good game. With AFCON, it's all logic and tactical analysis. Kind of sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the time goes out the window. All logic goes out the window. Like, for example, Ivory Coast, really and truly, they shouldn't even have been in this final. If we're talking, like, they finished third in their group, lost 4-0 against Guinea, Equatorial Guinea. Everyone thought they were down and out. Obviously, my home nation of Ghana helped them out with the absolutely abysmal mistake by Ofori. They were down and out. They were in the grave, and they came back, sacked their coach, hired their assistant coach. And yeah, if you watch all of their games, just magic has happened in those games. I think God was on their side, to be honest. Like, you had the win against Senegal on penalties. Obviously, they had the last-minute equaliser against Senegal. It took its penalties. Then you had the win against Mali, I believe, where Dingra scores in the last minute to send them through. Obviously, they have the win against Congo with Haller scoring, and then obviously the final, so them coming from 1-0 down to winning their home turf. So it's a lot of moments, a lot of magical moments, and it seems like it was written in the stars for Cote d'Ivoire to win. So big congratulations to them. In general, AFCON was an extremely entertaining tournament, extremely entertaining tournament. Obviously, from a Ghanaian perspective, I didn't really enjoy it as much. But as a neutral, I'm sure the neutral would have loved it. You had countries like South Africa surprising people. Cape Verde were really, really good. Yeah. Surprised me a lot.
Equatorial Guinea as well.
Yeah, Equatorial Guinea had a good tournament. Yeah. The goalkeeper from South Africa, Williams, as well. He had a great tournament. So it's things like that where you just... I saw a tweet where it was basically saying like all the stars from Africa, like your Drogba, not your Drogbas. Well, yeah, you can include the stars from the past like Drogba, Eto'o, yeah. But especially for this year, so you've got Salah, you've got Mahrez, you've got Mane. Essentially, your status doesn't mean anything in AFCON. No. Like, you can be the guy. Like, Salah was the guy. Well, Salah is the guy in the Prem, apart from arguably De Bruyne. And it doesn't really seem to matter in AFCON. It's like someone said, like, it's like that scene in Black Panther where they strip you of your powers and just go in there the same as everyone else. That's kind of what happens in AFCON. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see like how the playing field is leveled. And yeah, it was just a really, really entertaining tournament. It had some worldies in the tournament as well.
I think particularly in this tournament as well, there was no standout clear favourite. I
Yeah.
think everyone had everyone had an equal chance of winning. Like even like the fact that Nigeria, if we switch this to Nigeria, for example, I think their expectation coming into the tournament was they're very top heavy. They haven't really got a very good midfield. So even teams like Egypt with 1 or 2 star players like Elneny and Salah, obviously Mahrez, and teams like Senegal, it's all just about just staying within games and just being there, and then hoping that you can get a moment of magic. Like if we look at Ivory Coast a bit better, they might not have the flashiest team, but they've got a solid base like Seri in midfield, Kessie, Fofana. They're all like working players. And then obviously Haller up front, great all the experience. Adingra played phenomenally well, particularly in this final. And he's only like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Players like Diomande not even making the starting 11. I think a lot of people were getting annoyed about that, particularly with the old coach. And I think there was like 3 different formations being played. So the good thing about AFCON is it's just vibes. There's no like there's not really any emphasis on tactics. So you don't really know what you're going to expect. So yeah, from a perspective, what do you think's the most like? Is there any concerns that you have with the tournament or anything like that in terms of going forward?
Not really. I don't really have too many concerns, to be fair. I thought it was pretty.
What about in terms of timing? Do you think it maybe needs to be changed or?
I think we could have seen more talent if it was in the summer and it didn't coincide with club football. Because I saw a lot of players, especially in the Ghana squad. I think Issa Haku, who plays for Leicester, he didn't want to come and play. Sulemana as well.
The Onana situation where he came late.
Exactly. The Onana situation was just a mess, to be fair. It was kind of disrespectful to Cameroon, in my opinion. He had a lot of stars that were missing in the tournament.
Rama didn't get picked, Corner didn't get picked, obviously. They'd game time, but...
Yeah, it's a lot of... There's a lot of things that could have been avoided if it was in the summer, but obviously it is what it is. I just want to talk about the refereeing.
Yeah.
I feel like the VAR officiating is good. It was good. Initially, I disagreed. I thought the VAR... In the group stages, I thought there were a couple of shaky decisions, but... In its totality, I think the refs did a good job, to be fair. I'll give it to them. Yeah, they did. Because I've been watching AFCON, obviously, since I was a kid, and traditionally, there's been a lot of... how do I put it? Dishonesty within players. There's a lot of theatrics, lying on the ground... rolling over, trying to get fouls, and it kind of ruined the game in a sense. But I think this no-nonsense approach, it helped a lot. So yeah.
No, I think that's a good way to kind of end it off. I think AFCON was a very enjoyable tournament for many people, and it kind of we saw a lot of teams, a lot of players we didn't expect to shine and come through. Players like Osimhen didn't really turn up too much.
Exactly.
Yeah, should we move on to the Premier League?
Yeah, let's move on to the Prem. I'll let you lead on this one.
Yeah, so obviously we've seen today, we'll call this on Sunday, so Arsenal have just beaten West Ham 6-0, so not a very nice win. But Liverpool, Man City both got wins yesterday, so I think, well and truly, I think the title race is still on. There's only like 2 points in it, with City playing and having a game less, but what are your thoughts on Jurgen Klopp leaving? What's that going to do to the title race?
The funniest thing is we have a Liverpool fan here.
Off camera right now.
Off camera. I'm sure he was crying when he heard the news. It kind of reminded me of when I was in secondary school. I got the news of Sir Alex retiring. It's kind of like, at first you hear it and you think it's a prank. You think that people are taking a mick a bit. And then you actually go on the news and realise that it's true. It's probably world shattering for Liverpool fans that he is their modern Sir Alex in a sense. Obviously he hasn't done it for 20 years. No one will ever repeat what Sir Alex has done, but he's done a lot. If you look at where he came when he came into the squad, where they were and where they are now, he's left Liverpool in a better place, and losing him is going to be a big loss for the Premier League. As a United fan, I'm buzzing. I'm very happy about it. As Ten Hag said, eras can come to an end. City, we've got 115 charges. You're next. And yeah, it's obviously a lot of talk about Xavi Alonso coming in to replace him. I think that's the obvious one. That's the obvious shout. Saw some people talking about De Zerbi.
I don't think so. I think it's very premature. Very premature. I also think as well, in terms of if this is going to like cultivate Liverpool into a title, potential like double Europa League. They've obviously got the final coming up, haven't they, in the League Cup?
Yeah, against Chelsea.
So
I think
there's a potential, treble in terms of not the proper treble, but
B-Tech treble.
B-Tech treble. Yeah, there's only 2 points in it, but I think it all depends on how Salah comes back. If Salah comes back revitalised, fresh, and kind of, ready to go, then they've got every chance for it. But they still, I think, eventually, like players like Endo and that DM situation. Obviously, McAllister's done well, but
has he done well?
Is it gonna keep them going?
Has he done well?
Yeah.
I'm not. Me personally, I'm not convinced about the McAllister thing. The midfield, obviously, they tried to go for Casado in the summer.
And Lavia doing well.
Yeah, and Lavia. Chelsea swooped both of them, but obviously you can see the position that Chelsea are in now. So yeah, they just needed that DM. I think they went for Gravenberch, but he's not a DM. McAllister is not a DM. Endo obviously is a DM, but it's already so much. Thiago is always injured. He just came back.
Thiago could have actually fixed that issue if he'd stayed fit, because he can actually put up good tackles and interception numbers. He can be that guy, but he just can't stay fit.
Yeah, I heard that, but he came in for the one game and then he's injured again. Obviously Arsenal. We thought there's a moment in time where people were writing them off, to be fair, and then obviously the big win against Liverpool put them straight back in the title race. Obviously today's result as well shows that they're title contenders, but if I'm being completely honest, I think City will do it again.
You think obviously the return of De Bruyne and Haaland?
I think the return of De Bruyne is giving them life. Haaland coming back is giving them life. People saying, oh yeah, they'll go on their run. They're going on their run right now.
Yeah,
They've won how many in a row have they won? Like 10 in a row or something.
They've won like 7. I think.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
is it
something like that? It's
along those lines? But they've won. They're on their run now essentially. So I think City will win it again. Unfortunately, I don't want them to win it again. I want someone else to win the title. I don't want Liverpool winning it. Ideally, it pains me to say, but I'd rather have Arsenal win it than City and Liverpool. And then obviously you've got Spurs.
They've won 6 Prem fixtures in a row.
Yeah, 6. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
They're gonna go on a run.
Lost since they lost to Villa in the beginning of December.
So there you go. They're gonna go on their run. Obviously, there's a top 4 race to be spoken about.
Yeah. Tottenham got a very big crucial win. United also won today as well, 2-1 against Villa. I think Scott McTominay again coming up off the bench. This guy's not a DM. He's actually putting in good performance.
He's never been a DM.
But a lot of people now realise that maybe he should be starting more games potentially.
I think he's an impact sub. He's good off the bench. He's good at giving Ten Hag what he wants, but he's not good enough to start for United, in my opinion.
And also, do you think that Mainu, as good as he's been, he's not going to start every game?
Obviously Mainu's young.
Yeah.
It's interesting because of the thing is with Mainu. Obviously, when Casemiro was out, Mainu was playing under 6. Now that Casemiro's back in the side, he's playing. Yeah, he's in a more advanced role. With Mainu, I think I'll be honest, Mainu is our best midfielder in my opinion.
Really?
He's 18 years old. He just oozes class. His temperament, his security on the ball. Yeah, he plays football like he's
25.
Yeah, exactly. He's just absolutely oozes class. He's probably our most technically sound midfielder as well. So I think building the midfield around him makes sense. I think it pains me to say, but long term, I don't think we win the league with Bruno in the team, if I'm being completely honest. I hate to say it. I love Bruno Fernandes. He fights for the badge. A lot of people question his attitude and all that, but I respect Bruno a lot.
High-risk, high-reward players who actually do end up... Because that's not like Bruno, regardless of how he plays in the season, he'll always put up numbers.
Yeah.
So unless he wants to leave, I don't see him being dropped. Or unless a manager comes in and says, look, you're not my guy. Or if Mason Mount comes back or something like that. Even if that's probably not going to happen. That's another thing. That's another interesting point that you just brought on. The Mason Mount situation, because of our midfield is packed, to be fair. We've got Kobe Mainoo, we've got Casemiro, we've got Bruno Fernandes. There's Amrabat he's not getting a sniff at the starting lineup, let's be honest. But I just don't see where Mount fits into the squad. Maybe putting him on the wing.
But the thing is, this is the issue. Anthony's been dropped. Garnacho's starting at that right wing position, and Garnacho's playing well. Yeah, he's playing well on that right wing position. So Mason Mount coming back, I don't know where he plays in the team because we have Mainu, we have Casemiro, we have Bruno's not going to get.
Casemiro, to be fair, will probably get a suspension or an injury.
It's possible. It's possible that we could get some injuries and Mount could find a place in the team. Bruno is very durable, so I don't see it happening to Bruno.
He will always play.
And Menu is obviously he's just come back from injury, so we'll see what happens with him.
Are you happy with Højlund starting to put up some?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, obviously we saw a lot of people slandering Højlund, but as United fans, we knew that he was going to come good because of obviously he was banging goals in the Champions League, and even without the goals, we could see that he just wasn't getting enough service. To be fair, now that we're creating chances, obviously Luke Shaw coming back. Well, he got an injury today, so that's a bit worrying. But with Shaw coming back, putting in crosses, the low as well was phenomenal today. I've been critical of the low in the past, saying that we do need to upgrade on him, but he had a good game today. Long term though, I would look at maybe.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you have in mind?
I think Jeremy Frimpong at Leverkusen is doing pretty well, but I think that's I think he's too attacking.
Yeah.
In a sense, we need someone with a bit more balance. I think having one attacking right back, full back, and then one defensive. I think you can't have the low and Frimpong. Frimpong and Wan-Bissaka would work, but you can't have the low and Frimpong as your two rotating right backs. I don't think that really makes sense. It's a bit too top heavy for me personally. But I would look at Frimpong. Obviously, he's doing very well at Leverkusen. Before Gusto went to Chelsea, I was thinking of Gusto, but obviously,
he's still a bit raw, I think.
Yeah, I still kind of like. I think he's alright. You know, yeah. I don't think he's that bad. Speaking of Chelsea, we could talk about Chelsea.
Chelsea
stinking it up.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, the only thing they've got left to play for, and it's a massive game for them, is the final in the FA Cup against Liverpool.
Yeah,
they have to win that to have any sort of redeeming. Because if they win, they get a spot right in the Europa League.
For Carabao.
Yeah, was it FA Cup?
I think FA Cup.
Only FA Cup.
If you win FA Cup, you get a Europa League spot. Yeah.
Yeah,
but even this is the thing: the amount of money that they spent in the summer, to be under, I think it's called FSR now.
FSR, yeah.
Financial sustainability something. Yeah. Something like that. In order to really stay aligned with that, they kind of have to get. Not even Europa's not going to cut it for them. They have to get Champions League football.
They should be getting it. They should have got it last year.
The amount of money they spent $1 billion. In order for that to be sustainable, you're gonna have to. Yeah. You're gonna have to get Champions League football. If not, they're gonna have to sell to buy. Because I know they want Osimhen. I don't see them getting Osimhen at this rate because they're not gonna be able to. Obviously, the money's there for Bowley, but they won't be able to stay within the regulations and sign Osimhen. I don't think. It could be a situation where maybe an Arsenal or you never know, maybe a United swoop in and get Osimhen. Because I think he's destined for the Prem. If not the Prem, then probably PSG.
I think he goes PSG.
You think he goes PSG?
I have a feeling that, because most of the top clubs right now in Europe, they have their number 9 sorted. Give or take. Liverpool don't need attackers, City don't need a striker, Tottenham can't get him realistically. Yeah. I don't think Chelsea can afford to get him, but I don't think he'll choose to go there. I think if he had the choice, he would choose to go to Chelsea. Over PSG? Yeah, I feel like if PSG came calling, I feel like he'd go. I think he wants Chelsea. Madrid don't need him. Bayern don't need him. Madrid do need him. If they're going to get him Mbappe. Yeah, but the thing is, Mbappe don't like playing through the middle. That's the thing. I don't know how I think they're going to do this. I don't know whether they're going to put Vinicius on the right and then slap Mbappe on the left, and then. No, they'll play him through. They'll just rotate him. He doesn't like playing up front though. That's the thing. So I don't think he's going to agree to go there unless they give him the left wing spot. I think maybe Real Madrid could look at Osimhen, but I think that's an outside chance. I think Chelsea makes the most sense, but with this sustainability ruling, I sell at least 2 or 3 players. Right? Yeah, I don't think. If they sell Gallagher in the summer, because Gallagher's been linked with a lot of moves. Yeah, possibly, but I just think it's a bit difficult. I think Arsenal makes sense because they need a Osimhen. But I think Tony is kind of destined for Arsenal, if I'm being fair. I think Tony will be available for 50 million, 60 million? Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think they'll probably go for a Tony. 7-8 goals. Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll go for a Tony. But let's move on to Bundesliga. Yeah. I think it's important that we discuss the train that is Leverkusen. I think it's 33 games now. No losses in Europe. They're the only unbeaten team in Europe now. 4 draws in that as well. And Xabi Alonso steamrolled Bayern Munich yesterday. Saw the comments of Thomas Muller saying it was not good enough. It's unacceptable that from a Bayern perspective. But that team is unreal. Possession dominant, straightforward, high press. They've got an amazing set of wing backs, full backs, whatever you want to call it. Grimaldo has a shout for being probably one of the best signings of the summer. Free transfer from, I think, Benfica or one of the
Was he come
sport. I think it's either Benfica or one of the.
Why do I feel like it came from Spain?
No, I'm pretty sure he came from Benfica.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
because he's been there for a while.
Yeah.
The guy's got like over 10 goal involvements.
Yeah, him and Frimpong are lighting up because he doesn't really play with wingers.
No, he doesn't because he
Yeah,
plays.
he's
plays
a very
Hoffman
narrow-
and
it's a
Vert.
very narrow-
He plays Hoffman and
yeah.
Verts, 2 10s as like inverted, like Lam and Ram.
Yeah.
Like, and then he rotates between Schick and Boniface
Yeah,
up front. So they're doing really
it's
well.
a very narrow formation.
Very
isn't
narrow
it?
formation, very
Yeah.
possession dominant, which you wouldn't expect straight away from a team that's like got a new manager for one season. He's got them working really well. Obviously, they've got Jonathan Tah at the back, kind of holding it together, and Heretsky in goal. So no, they're doing really good. Do we think that there's going to be an upset this year? I personally think once Bayern I think Gnabry's been out for ages, and Lima's just gone out as well. Once they get their form back, maybe when the Champions League returns in next week or the week after,
Next week.
I think we might start to see Bayern, maybe get their form together. But I would love it if Leverkusen caused an upset because it's been too long. And also, the Kane conundrum will go on then. The guy can't win. He can't get a break. So, yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I think Leverkusen are going to win it
You think?
because if they've played Bayern twice and they've beat
Beat them
Bayern
twice.
twice, so it's in Leverkusen's hands. Obviously, we saw last season Dortmund absolutely bowled it. But I just don't see the same situation happening again. To be fair, I
I hope Leverkusen win.
I feel like to get to this point in the season and having not lost, I don't think they're gonna
The
bowl
only
it.
thing that's going to stop them is injuries.
Yeah, if they get injuries, it could be an issue.
Xhaka and I think it's Palacios in midfield. I think they're kind of thin in midfield, and obviously the wing backs as well. I think they get injuries to them. It's kind of because people were worried that when Boniface went to AFCON because he's Nigerian, right?
He went to AFCON, but he got injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did he go back?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
back with Leverkusen now.
Like,
Yeah.
Schick's been able to hold it up. They've got that Adam Holzek from like Slavia Prague or something. So they've been able to like get away with it for the time being. And Verts has been a player, so he'll probably get a move in the summer as well. Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. Dortmund they've kind of fallen off the race. So it's basically just a 2-horse race now.
Yeah. And they're 5 points clear, so.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. We're gonna leave all the socials down below. We're gonna try and be more active as we can on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. So check them all out, and yeah, look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.
Yep. Peace.